We're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. Navigating the legal system can be stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. When you're in need of legal assistance, trust Liberty Law Group to fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Become part of the Landmark difference today. Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer, is currently hiring in our parts departments. As a member of our team, you'll assist customers in finding the right parts for their equipment, manage inventory, and collaborate with sales and service. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you at our dealership. Apply today and grow your career with Landmark Implement, where your skills make a difference in the ag community every day. See full details online at landmark.careers.
IT issues wreaking havoc on your day? It's time to hire the experts. It's time to hire Hamilton. When it comes to your business, you don't have time to worry about network security, data backup, and protection, or support when devices slow down or stop working. At Hamilton, we ensure that your technology is up to speed and works as hard as you do. Don't let IT issues slow you down. You deserve better. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist. This time he beats the kicker and one more. DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. Got a different background. Not sure what that one is. We'll switch it back to college football. We're streaming only, so if you're watching, that means you're using the streams or the Ticket app. That's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Allo, Channel 961. Great ways to put a face to the voice. And as always, Sartor Heyman text line available to you, 402-464-5685. Don't be afraid to go ahead and hit up that number. Good morning, Pierson-El, the host as always. How's it going on a Tuesday night?
It's going a day closer to Saturday.
Yeah, I'm getting giddy. Obviously, UTEP. We're definitely going to talk some Husker football, but a few things, some house cleaning that I want to get out of the way here. CeeDee Lamb finally got his contract. $100 million guaranteed with a nice cherry on top, a $36 million signing bonus. Thoughts on the CeeDee Lamb contract? The holdout is finally over. I think everybody was kind of just waiting for them to finally give him his money. What are your thoughts?
I mean, much well deserved. I mean, pay the guy. The guy was due for it. I mean, he's been, regardless of whatever you can say about Dak being the face or Mika being the CeeDee Lamb is the face of the Cowboys. That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He went out there, earned it and everything like that. Probably should have got things a lot sooner. But, I mean, at the end of camp, 53-man roster stuff is done. So, now it's just, it's all water under the bridge. But, good for him.
Yeah, and like you said, that 53-man roster is important because that's when a lot of this was coming to crunch time. It was the 53-man roster's got to get your team together. CeeDee Lamb, he gets paid, which I don't think anybody's surprised. He just came off of what was his best NFL season, and it's not like the years before were bad. He put it together an incredible last season. It was his best one yet, so no surprises there. When it comes to the Cowboys, they got CeeDee Lamb back. What's missing for the Cowboys? Like, is it just that clutch gene factor? Do these guys have a shot to make some sort of deep run here, or is there anything you're seeing glaring holes in their defense or offense?
On paper, they've had one of the most overall talented rosters. And I don't know if it's self-sabotage with Jerry or just, just pissing down the leg with the coaches. But when it comes to playoff time, they disappeared. Dak did, amazing numbers, finished, in the top 3 in the MVP vote, multiple times, broken records, reset the market with certain things. But when it comes to just, those clutch moments, and when you can kind of depend on them to be the Cowboys, they don't show up to be the old school Cowboys. They show up to be the new school, choke artists that honestly is what they are. And it's sad to say because, like I said, they're a talented team. They do great in the regular season, and then you get to the playoffs and you don't know, what happened. So I'm not expecting anything differently because the same people are still in charge. They haven't done anything. Dak is who he is, regardless of however you want to shape it, put it. I'm not putting it all on him. I think it's definitely it being Jerry running things and, somewhat of not allowing them to be able to do what they need to get done.
Yeah, and the Dak he's just interesting. I mean, he's had less clutch moments in the playoffs than Jordan Love, and Jordan Love only had one season.
You can put him and Kirk Cousins in the same ship.
You can, and I'd probably take Kirk.
I mean, he might got a few more wins than Dak, but I mean that's the type of caliber player of what it is. They're honestly they're really similar.
Yeah, and Dak had better weapons too, I'd argue. Now Kirk Cousins eventually started getting loaded up, had some of the best weapons. But I'd say overall, I mean, the Cowboys' offense has always been polished for Dak Prescott's use. Especially, I mean, you had the 1 year where Ezekiel Elliott wasn't really the guy anymore, but other than that, pretty much thought, and Pollard took away that space, that empty void that, it wasn't quite there anymore.
Well, I mean, they still have that to figure out because, I mean, they brought Zeke back.
Yeah,
they're trying to, reclaim some things. Zeke is still, a phenomenal player and everything like that. But
I don't know if he is anymore. I'll be honest. That's the unfortunate running backs, the short lifespan. I don't see it for Ezekiel Elliott having a really great season. Nothing close to what he was in his peak.
I mean, I don't think he'll necessarily be that, but I mean, he could get shades of it just being back in Dallas. I mean, New England wasn't really a fit for him, and most people, New England isn't. So I'm not putting all of that on Zeke. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting back to a comfortable space. So you might see, something different out of him from that. But they still don't know what is going to be their identity. Like you have Dak. Yeah, you just got, CeeDee. Of course, we know y'all going to air it out and everything like that. But you can't really hang your hat on, what the identity of that team is going to be. And that might, come up in moments of them struggling, especially with their conference outside of the Giants. I don't think their conference is going to be easy. And you lost a pivotal piece, defensive coordinator that's actually in your conference now. So he knows you like the back of your hand. And he has an amazing offensive coordinator with Cliff Kingsbury. Like, I don't think Dallas, honestly, will be 1 or 2 in the conference. That's just me speaking.
No, like what I think of Dallas Cowboys, I think, okay, what needs to happen? Dak needs to have even more pressure and deliver in even bigger situations. Because, hopefully Elliott he's back to his peak. But like I said, I don't think you're going to get an uptick from what he was with the New England Patriots, but it's not going to be what he was with the Cowboys originally. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to need a lot more from Dak Prescott once again, and he's going to really have to kind of carry the team, which regular season he is able to do.
Great.
Like, he's phenomenal. But a postseason, it's just, for whatever reason, he's had multiple.
Terrible. A nightmare. Awful. Just so like I said, hopefully we'll see, but it's one person can pull in a lot of strings in Dallas, and we know who that is.
Yeah, and maybe he's been pulling the strings for a little too long.
83.
What's that?
83 years old. Still getting it done.
Getting it done. It might be a little too much praise for him. He's doing something. It's the Cowboys, man. It's one of those teams where I'm not a Cowboys fan, but it's like the NFL's better when the Cowboys are good. Now they've been good.
Are they?
I think so. The amount of money they bring into the NFL, like them or hate them, the amount of money the Cowboys bring to the NFL for more revenue to build the nicest, newest stadiums, newest technology. Eventually, we'll get to the point where I have enough money and technology to get rid of the chain gang. I still don't get that one in the NFL.
I think that needs to stay. That's a staple. I don't like the new technology. So I think it's a staple. Football is football. It's a lot of things changing about the game, but I feel like you can keep that. That wasn't hurting anything. That wasn't hurting anybody.
No, it's not hurting anybody. But there's times where it's just bizarre. I'm trying to think of the game. It was Arkansas. I can't remember who they're playing against. Let's see if I can pull up the picture real quick. But there's been times when the spot's been so off, and it's like you can just get a chip on the ball, and then chips on the yards, just a cheat. It'd be really.
Is that the chain gang's fault, or is that the ref for doing a bad spot?
It's the refs, but it's also just like the chain gang is unnecessary. I think you could just get rid of that one. It's kind of like
you sound like a hater to me.
I sound like somebody who just wants to get the call right and move on.
So then they need to make sure that these refs get held to a higher standard.
I think you're just the media's best friend. You just want to sell as many ads as possible, as much as we can stop the game. That's all DP wants. Sell ads. No, I get what you're saying, but I'm just so tired of the amount of stoppages. They figure out ways to wiggle in there. And if it's boring enough, they'll just, even though it's not technically break time, they'll give you a small panel to watch the game and a bigger one to watch the ad in the meantime while the chain gang gets it sorted out. So yeah, I'm down for upgrading on some of this technology.
At the same time, even with the chip stuff, you've seen it now. They still take the same amount of time, bring up the ad, and then bring up the big picture of the artificial simulation of where stuff is. So I mean, it's not doing anything. It's not speeding anything up, regardless. So I mean,
it does when you get to those piles where when it gets really possible, and they're just pulling people piece by piece, trying to sort that stuff out. That's one of the spots where you
the thing with the piles, like that might come in handy if games on the line, tough situation. That's honestly like another timeout. It's like, a game within the game. So it's like okay, you talking about breaking that up and everything. That's still going to be a part of the game.
But how accurate is the spot at the bottom of those piles? They're eyeballing it, and that's not their fault. I mean, you're doing the best you can, but I'm saying, like, if you could just properly mark that. I just think there's times where I'd help the game flow, and
you can have the chip to help better market and check the refs.
That's what I'm more about.
Okay, I understand that, but that don't just still eliminate the dudes that's the chain gang. Like, come on now, that's fundamental. Like, that chain gang is like having equipment on. Like, if you take the equipment off, you're just playing flag football. It ain't the same.
All right. The traditionalist and the chain gang.
I'm just saying, I mean, Nebraska's all about tradition. I feel like, the people understand that aspect part of it. I understand there are better ways to get a better spot of things and whatnot, but I don't, like I said, I think that's a pivotal piece within the game that's like you might like could it be replaced? Yeah, but I mean that's that's like having the same water boy, that having the same equipment managers after so long and everything like that. That you just get used to. Like I said, it's at times in the game with the chain people coming out and everything like that. That's still in an extra timeout. You could be in the fourth quarter of a physical game, being tired and everything like that, and that comes around or whatnot and everything like that. That gives you just a little bit more energy to make the last 30 seconds or the last minute worth it. So it's just like if it's not really necessarily going to speed the game up too much, like if it ain't broke, it don't necessarily need to be fixed. But getting a better spot of things, they could do a better job with that. So I understand that part of it, but they don't need to take the game away.
All right, they can stay, but we can put a chip in the football.
For sure. And, check the refs on that one.
So they're really just doing their job for fun at that point, but we'll keep them out there. It's just one of those things, like if you want to go 50-50, we're going to be able to have the chip in the ball, know exactly where the spot needs to be, and we're just going to have the chain gang run out there for fun. So you're doing one or the other. There's no way they do both.
They're not. They're going to get rid of it. I mean, that's just what it is. It's probably less people that you got to pay. So
yeah, that's
it's the shortest stick was grabbed, and it's somebody's got to be on the chopping block. So hopefully we get this year. I think they are testing it out for this year to see how it goes. Mm-hmm. We'll end up seeing how it is. But like I said, that's one of those changes.
Here's the solution. They don't got to lose their jobs. They're just the two people that sit in front of the monitor that tells them where the ball needs to be marked, and they can just commute it. There you go.
You're gonna have people from the New York office at every game making sure that nothing don't go wrong for that. So they're gonna be gone. It's over. That's just what it is. But I mean that's just on the NFL level. It hasn't gotten to the collegiate level yet. So the chain gang still might be around in college, which is probably a plus.
Yeah, I think it'll be in college for a long. We saw that with the in-helmet headsets that we're finally seeing at the college level. Like why that? I guess it makes sense why it takes so long, especially if they decide to do the chips and actually make that a thing, because that's all D1 college football programs. You need to make sure they have the infrastructure, and that's probably going to cost quite a bit of money to get that circuitry underneath the field where you can have all those markers to indicate whatever kind of magnet technology you got in the ball. So it's definitely not going to be anywhere near college. At least I'd say 10 years out, and I feel pretty safe saying that. I just think it's going to take maybe even longer. Like that's a lot of money to get that stuff together and then to get everybody on page with it. Not where I thought I was going. The chain gang segment on the first one with the Don't Punt Hour. What I want to ask you next, and then we will get into some college football with the Huskers in particular. Untold Stories, Michigan football. I got a chance to watch it. You're texting me throughout the day. They really just kind of hover in the gray area the whole time. Like they don't dive into any of the details. It's just all gray area.
I'm through with the Untold Stories. Like time and time again, you have failed.
Yeah, they have.
And typically, the Netflix documentaries they're spot on, or they're hitting things right on the head of stuff. Like I found myself, I was watching the Steve McNair one the other night. Halfway through, I'm like, what am I watching? Like y'all just you're retelling the facts that is already necessarily like told, and you don't necessarily go into it. You involve somebody, you put somebody up in the last 10 minutes of the documentary. That's 58 minutes. It's not even multiple, episodes or anything like that. And it's just not, justice have not been done. They did the same thing with the Florida thing. The Florida Swamp Legends was just terrible. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it could have been better. The Steve McNair one. So I'm just, it's a waste of time. I'm pissed off because you're not really doing anything. And I don't know if they have the rights to exactly say what it is. And if you don't, then why even do it? If you're not going to do it right. If you ain't going to do it right, don't do it.
I agree. I think it's been disappointing. And the Swamp Kings was good, but they left a lot on the table. Like there's a lot of things that if you're just a college football fan, you're kind of waiting for some of those stories and they never show up at all. They're not even a mention of it. Just not even in the post-reel credits. You're not gonna see
you had so many pivotal pieces on that Florida team that you could have pulled and talked to. Cam was on that team. Percy Harvin was on that team. Joe Hayden was on that team. The Pouncey twins was on that team. Like they hit some check marks, but they didn't hit a lot of them.
No.
And that's what was disappointing about a lot of it. And it's like I said, it's the same thing with the McNair one. It's you hit certain check marks. I mean, even with the Menzel one, the Menzel one was probably one of the better ones, but you still didn't technically hit majority of the stuff of what you probably could have. You could have went in, a little bit more in depth of some stuff, and it's like you're not really scratching the itch. Like it's still, people are still scratching their head like, what? I still have questions, or what about this, or what about that? And you could have got a way better in depth of a lot of these stories. And like I said, it's just I think I'm done with watching them completely, honestly.
I might be with you. These have been disappointing. Unless
I don't even want to see the Michigan one, like, because if that's what that was, I can only expect the beating around the bush that I'm going to see for the Michigan one. And with stuff being so recently and still ongoing and whatnot and everything like that, the questions that I have or the answers that I'm looking for or certain things of how long or whatever, it's probably not going to get answered. It's going to piss me off again. So I think I'll do myself and just not even pay attention to it, because you leave. I feel like you leave. After watching those documentaries, I feel like the people leave with more questions than got answered.
Yeah, if you watch Sign Stealer, that's what you walk away with. They answer some questions, but leave a lot to be answered, and those questions that are answered just makes you wonder more. And my biggest pet peeve with it is it just feels like they don't push it all. It's like, what's your story? Cool. All right.
It's very
double down and ask you more questions.
It's very surface level.
Yeah.
And that's been across, I feel like, multiple stories that they have told. Like, I'm not saying like dig and find out every little thing, but okay, like the stuff that you're telling, I can Google that and find that out.
Exactly.
The stuff that you're asking the people, like, I don't necessarily, like, I could have been better without, that quote, that saying, or like you could have went a little bit more in depth to certain things, and it's not really fulfilling certain areas of, like, okay, well, like, what am I doing? I found myself watching the McNair one, like, why am I watching this? And like I said, it's just very surface level, and it's like, y'all got to do a better job of that.
Yeah, and if you want to check it out, you can. But like I said, you're not going to get a ton of answers. They asked him, he denies being at Central Michigan. They don't really press him on it. They really they take the angle of making him this football different way of kind of thinking, like a smart guy on how he's able to get all this information and collect that. Like, that's fine and all.
That's great.
They don't really push why and where
we knew what your background was. We knew where you went to school at. We knew that you were high tech into technology and everything like that. It's fine and dandy, common knowledge. We don't care about that. We want exactly the meat and potatoes of what the situation was. The people want answers to the question that they have. And like I said, with that one is a little bit different because it's still an ongoing investigation. So with that one, I'm a little bit more lenient because it's something that he probably can't even answer because his either his lawyers or lawyers have told him, like, look, don't even, get off of that topic. But why would you even take that type of assignment or, sit down and do that when you
can't report on it all? Like,
at all.
It's stupid. I hate it. We got to go to break. But I'll sum it up this way. If you want to watch The Sign Stealer with Connor Stallions, it's not about Connor Stallions, really. It's about sign stealing in college football and how that's evolved. Like, it talks about it, but it talks about it in such a roundabout way that covers all the gray areas that there's, like, just like you said earlier, there's never anything of real substance that you can walk away with being like, I get it now. I get how that happened. Like, it's just, this is who he is. He's this kind of bright mind, and this is the history of sign stealing. Formulated it. You found a different way to cheat, and you got caught cheating that way. I mean, that, like, there's not anything to it. There's not anything like special about it. All right, now what is special is the story of you, how getting to that point, or the things that you went through. But no, we're not going to get that.
irritating.
Probably not. I would, recommendation, wait for after the court case so you can actually
Do that.
things instead of having to omit. I'm sure they probably had hours of footage and audio that they could have used, but post-production it all gets cut out. I would just say this, probably not worth your time. You can go catch what you see on social media, the cutouts. That's probably going to be the best parts of it, and there's not a lot of substance in between. So we'll throw it to break. Those are your thoughts on Sign Stealer. A bit underwhelming, at least in my opinion. So don't go anywhere. We got one or two more segments. Don't Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El. The host is always streaming in. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $25.60 per hour, which grows to $30.12 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $34.51 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacations for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Are you tired of the same old entertainment options? How about something that's truly fun for both kids and adults? Nebraska Knockerball, the new place to go for your private and corporate parties. Step inside one of their inflatable spears and let out stress in a healthy form of exercise. Or try the human foosball, foot darts, yard pong, giant beer pong, basketball connect 4, and much more. Nebraska Knockerball, specializing in physical, engaging fun. Call Nebraska Knockerball today at 402-460-8724 to learn more or book a reservation now.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. Navigating the legal system can be stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. When you're in need of legal assistance, trust Liberty Law Group to fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Become part of the Landmark difference today. Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer, is currently hiring in our parts departments. As a member of our team, you'll assist customers in finding the right parts for their equipment, manage inventory, and collaborate with sales and service. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you at our dealership. Apply today and grow your career with Landmark Implement, where your skills make a difference in the ag community every day. See full details online at landmark.careers.
IT issues wreaking havoc on your day? It's time to hire the experts. It's time to hire Hamilton. When it comes to your business, you don't have time to worry about network security, data backup, and protection, or support when devices slow down or stop working. At Hamilton, we ensure that your technology is up to speed and works as hard as you do. Don't let IT issues slow you down. You deserve better. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Second segment, Dump Punt Hour. We're going to talk some Husker football here as we got UTEP just a few days away before we kick off, 2:30. Believe it or not, Husker football right around the corner and NFL right along with it. So, talk about this. I want to talk about the wide receivers and why not talk to a former Husker wide receiver to get some good answers on it. You look at this wide receiver depth chart for UTEP, obviously week 1. Could be some changes, but what we got right now is Jamal Banks to transfer out of Wake Forest, Isaiah Nayor transfer out of Texas, and then at the slot, Bonner. Now, I think that one's probably the biggest surprise there. But what I see is Isaiah Nayor, about 6'4", Jamal Banks, 6'3", 6'4", Bonner, I think it's probably, you could say he's 6'1", 220 pounds, 225, somewhere around there. So you got a really bunch of tall and bigger wide receivers compared to years in the past where, especially at that slot position, we've had some smaller guys in those roles, the J.D. Spielmans, Wan'Dale Robinson even. Wan'Dale, I mean, we put him at running back. We put him at slot. He was kind of getting put everywhere. But when you see the amount of size in this wide receiver room, at least at those starting roles, what kind of advantages does that have for Nebraska football?
I'm looking at it myself. I mean, there's things that, people preach, speed, power, size. So having those definitely will show up and have those advantages at the game. Not only do we have, tall people, but they all can move. They all pretty shifty.
They're big. You're not seeing a lot of – they're tall, but you're not seeing a bunch of super scrawny wide receivers out there.
Yeah, so that, I mean, again, with the dynamic running back, again, big wide receivers to block, that's not an easy challenge. You got corners, in the Big Ten. If you look all across, the board, there's not really any short corners. So you have to have, some height at receiver. And like I said, I mean, as you get closer and, jump balls are consistent, catching and everything like that, that's where the height and everything like that, comes, can be, a change because you have an accurate passer in Raiola. If you put it in a certain area where if you have a 6'3", 6'4" receiver versus, a 6'2" corner, I mean, the height is there. The wingspan is already, 2 to 3 inches already out of there. So it creates, difficulty for people to adjust to. So, I mean, you always, want to have size. I'm a bit I can look at it two ways. It says, wide receiver, and then it lists off, so are each of the ones the starters at those spots?
Yep.
Okay.
And if it's got an or next to it, it's either or. That means it's kind of 1A, 1B type deal. But with the wide receivers, there's none of that. You got, at least just for UTEP, again, it can change.
I'm just shocked with Jalen Lloyd being outside receiver because I'm pretty sure that's probably the Z receiver. Just with the play styles of Banks, and they got Coleman over there at X. So and I'm assuming Nayor is the X receiver. Where Banks at is the Z receiver. I don't understand why Lloyd isn't in the slot.
I think he'll get some runs. I that's what I'm wondering. That's why Bonner is interesting. Like, what is it about Bonner? Because you're not getting the burner, the smaller. I mean, Lloyd isn't really small. He's taller, but Bonner, he's going to be the stronger, more muscly back. Do you think this is like you got trust in Banks and Nayor being able to be studs for you, and you can get some more muscle in particular? Like, I think the outside run is kind of what they're dialing up. That might be really deadly with the size. And Lloyd is a great athlete, but if that's where you lean, maybe you get a guy in Bonner in there who could still move and be a good receiver, but he's obviously not going to have the speed of Lloyd.
I mean, regardless of size or whatever it is and whatnot, you have running backs that are still Division I athletes, correct? Mm-hmm. So even if they, somebody misses an assignment or something like that, you telling me that your running back isn't good enough to, one, run through somebody, two, make somebody miss. So you're having a guy that's dynamic, probably one of your more dynamic people in Lloyd, which, like I said, if he's not out there, as one of the starters, like I'm scratching my head. I trust him and everything like that, but we've seen, what he can do with an inconsistent quarterback. Just imagine what he can do with a consistent quarterback. Last year, as a true freshman, he not only did he play, later on in the season, he started to kind of come about, but he was giving his own teammates, havoc. They couldn't guard him. Yeah. So you move him from the slot where he can probably, be a burner and whatnot, and versus you kind of put him behind Banks, which they're similar, but why not? Again, like I said, we'll see as it gets closer.
It does make me wonder about why, like, what do they see in Bonner? Now I'm curious. Like there's got to be some really good things schematically that they really think they can do this, because I did think it was going to be Banks and Nayor for the fact that we're bringing them in there. It's their senior years, they're experienced, they're leaders, they're great athletes. It makes sense. I could see those guys starting. I thought Lloyd be at that slot, but it is Bonner. So yeah, I just think it's got to do more with schematically what they're trying to do, and have another guy in Bonner that you feel like you got burners in Nayor and Banks already, that you get a little more size there, so you can also continue to be a threat. Because I think Nayor and Banks are going to be great blockers for us too. So that's just kind of how I'm seeing this right now. And I do think Banks is going to be kind of that elite wide receiver to lead the way.
Like I said, we will see. Not too sure on that one. You can expect that. But I mean, when you turn on the tape and, live bullets are going or whatnot, you might not know. Like I said, I mean, it's been, a competitive camp for the wide receiver holistically. And, I mean, top to bottom, I feel like, that's probably one of their more deepest wide receiver rooms in some of the recent past years. And that's a good problem, so you're going to have some problems where, people aren't, going to be able to be out there first and whatnot. That's why I said it goes to different play styles and kind of what you want to do with, putting certain wide receiver groups out there and whatnot. But I'm anxious to see exactly, what's up for, that slot. Was it he was just a little bit more consistent this year? Jalen was dealing with something and kind of they're working him back in. There's other, what ifs and whatnot. I'm not saying that he flat out, just might have been the better athlete at that position, and he'll have more opportunities Saturday to show why exactly he stepped up. But I mean, for him to even be in that role and be touted that, I mean, that's not easy. That's a standard to have the people that have come before him and whatnot. So I mean, shout out to them. Like I said, hopefully everybody's excited. Everybody gets a piece of the pie.
I think.
So looking forward, like I said, it's a deep room. So, I expect, 2s, 3s, whatever it may be, to still even eat, it should be that because, all of them have played for at least a year or two.
Yeah, and I expect against UTEP, I better, see them all down there. If everything goes the way it's supposed to be, I'll see Alex Bullock out there picking up right where he left off last year, being in that third string position. I do want to point this out, though. I just got to share this photo. And this is why I think maybe you're okay with Bonner and maybe you'll lose a little bit of just the speedster, but I think you trust these guys so much. So this is Jamal Banks, and I always got to point these pictures. And that's just one of his many catches. And I can't stress enough, he had 56 receptions on the year. He didn't have a single drop. So he catches this ball, and you can find a million other crazy catches he had. Jamal Banks out of Wake Forest. I think there's an immaculate level of trust that Dylan Royale is going to be able to kind of develop with him throughout the season of being one of those 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12. We got to make a shot here. I think he's going to be one of those guys consistently open. With that being said, the wide receiver room really stepping up this year, at least in terms on paper. How much success is predicated on the offensive line? If you had to put it at a percentage. Now, everybody goes from 70% to 80%. Some people say as low as 30% because the guys in this picture with Jamal Banks were, you know what, if you have good enough wide receivers, you don't need that much time in the pocket. So how important is that offensive line in terms of percentage that it's going to determine the success of Husker football?
I would say 50 to 60% because if he gets the ball and if you have a curl route, which is, 3-step timing or 3-step and a hitch, and before that wide receiver gets to 12 yards and works his way back to the quarterback, if he's already, got people at his feet or, scrambling out to where he's not even looking at that route anymore, is that the receiver's fault? Is that the quarterback's fault? No. That's the offensive line. So I'm not going to put it on 80 because that everybody has their own slice of the pie. But 50% of the game, 50% of the time, 50% of a drive, if the offensive line does what they're supposed to, we have a quarterback that can throw it accurately, that can read coverages, that has been training under NFL pros and a college legend with his father. So all that checks out. We have running backs, we have tight ends. You got receivers that clearly haven't shown themselves to not have drops, clearly showed themselves to be, big playmakers and whatnot. So as long as they do and handle that, that'll be fine. We just need to give, the quarterback enough time to actually figure it out, let things, set up what they are and deliver a ball. So I say 50 to 60% is on the line.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to walk it back from last year a lot. I think last year, I think I even said as high as 90%, but that was because we have a quarterback who we're not really looking to throw with him to begin with.
Exactly.
And that was before I saw him play, I was just
the identity last year to this year is completely different. Like, yep. I think this Saturday, the team will showcase something that we haven't seen in a while. Like I said, I expect them to be more consistent. I do expect, certain, freshman mistakes and everything like that. But like I said, you went out and got offensive linemen that are veterans. They're not younger guys. The offensive linemen are juniors
and seniors.
So, it's taking some time with this. They've been through 2-3 coaches, coaching changes and everything. This is year 2 under the same coaching philosophy. And I think the offensive lineman coach was actually here.
This would be year 3. He was the remainder with Frost, and then Rule. That was the only one that Rule kept, and there was a lot of controversy around it at the time.
But again, it's philosophy within the offense. But you have a quarterback that can do the short off-platform throws, intermediate, over the middle throws, deep throws, and everything like that. So you don't have to worry about dominating necessarily the run game when you have an accurate passer. So that takes a little bit of the relief off of the line. But like I said, 50 to 60% is still predicated of them, because if the offensive line is not moving what they need to move in the run game, that's going to shut down the pass game. They go hand in hand. And if you want to be 50-50 or 60-40 one way, you have to be dominant and establishing the run. It all starts there.
Yeah, and then obviously the other big chunk of that is how good is the rookie, or not rookie, at least for the Bears case, they'll have the rookie, but the freshman QB, Dylan Raiola, Matt Rule, not easing him in at all, not easing him into squat. He's going right into the game plan. They're not going to make a player-friendly play sheet for him. Seems like they're just going to drop him in it for UTEP. So that's what we're going to wrap up on that final segment. Don't go anywhere. Don't Punt Hour with the morning Pierson-El. We're going to talk about Rule's comments on Dylan Raiola. So don't go anywhere. We'll keep it rolling.
Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk commitment. And what better way to do that than with some shiny, sparkly jewelry? Am I right? Now, I'm not suggesting you have to rush, but if you're considering making a significant move, do your planning. We offer financing and payment plans. Lock down your selection with confidence. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Kim with Midwest Bank. We know there is more to your business than numbers and spreadsheets. For us at Midwest Bank, the people who make up a business matter most. We believe in getting to know you and your business and providing customized banking solutions that help protect your business and help it grow. Schedule a free consultation with us today. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
You can get diesel anywhere, but what about Atomic Diesel? That comes from Stern. Atomic Diesel is your solution to all your cold weather problems. Prevent clogged fuel filters, increase your fuel economy, and save money with Atomic Diesel. Contact Roger at Stern today by calling 1-800-477-2744 to see how Atomic Diesel and the rest of their line of fuels and lubricants can keep your operation running at max capacity.
Play ball! Looking for the ultimate change-up from the typical family night? How about a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers? Then unleash the fun at Haymarket Park with an action-packed, thrilling season of Salt Dogs baseball. Choose from 50 home games now through August with daily and weekly specials your whole pack can enjoy, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the magic and the excitement. Strike three, you're out! Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today. Unleash the fun.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Pierson-El.
All right, welcome in. Final segment, Don't Punt Hour. We're going to talk about Matt Rule's comments on Dylan Raiola. Dropping him straight into the boiling water. He is not taking a gentle approach, at least in terms of what he said at the podium. Doesn't seem like that's an approach that's necessary. So it sounds like Dylan Raiola is clicking on all cylinders already, and that he is being what he's lived up to be. Thoughts on Matt Rule basically just saying, like, no, we don't need to ease him into it. That's kind of the vibe I get. It sounds like we don't need to because it'd be a waste of time. He's ready.
I mean, that's good. As a player, as a true freshman starting, your coach is going to bat for you and saying that and everything like that.
Do you buy it? Is the real question I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Okay, me too.
Yeah. Like, Raiola is not the average true freshman.
Yeah,
he's not. Like, and as much as you can go back and look at some of all of these other, top quarterbacks, in the nation and everything like that, the thing that separates him is his upbringing. You have a all-pro, all-American center that's your father.
Mm-hmm. And then went on to coach. And you were around other NFL.
So he operates or, has been brought up to operate a little bit differently, especially an offensive line, a center. Center makes all the calls. This is, back, he went, early 2000s or whatever it is to, late. He had a 14, 15-year, career.
Smartest guys on the field are quarterback and then center, right? I don't think there's anybody else. It's 1-2 those guys.
Period. So you have you've literally, he's been trained since he could probably grip a football, so he's gonna know protection. He's gonna know coverage. Like it not to say that other, number one kids in the nation won't or whatnot, but they don't necessarily have the access to what he's had as, just having a all-pro father as a coach, a mentor, and everything like that. So things probably have sped up a lot quicker and whatnot. You don't need, too many reps of things and everything like that. You kind of just gotta put him in the fire and he'll swim. And you gotta let him, figure it out, certain things and whatnot. But I mean, he's ready for what this is what he's wanted to do. He's at where he wanted to be at. And he has an opportunity to show, what he's proven at the high school level, and everything like that. And it's an exciting time. So I'm not worried about certain stuff I'm not worried about his capabilities of stuff. That's the part I'm not worried about at all.
Yeah, right. Because if you're excited about the Dylan Raiola hype because you think he's X, Y, and Z, this checks out. This is what you would expect to hear from the coach. Like, no, he is. That IQ is a real thing. Like, we don't have to ease him into it because he already gets it at a high level. It makes sense.
You rubbing shoulders with Patrick Mahomes, his coaches. Your godfather is Matthew Stafford. If you follow what people have said about Stafford, he's one of the most talented quarterbacks, in the NFL, regardless of what people can say about his career or whatnot. When he was in Detroit, he was just on a terrible team, but he's smart. So he has different resources to where not just his father, but the caliber of players or that he desires to be, he's had access to those type of players for a while, and he's been groomed by them for a while. So like I said, I'm not worried about what he can and can't do. It's more so about how good are you going to protect him to allow him to get to those things to where he's not rattled, to where he is, somewhat comfortable or situated and everything like that. He has a phone book of mentors that he can probably call that are either NFL legends, gonna be NFL legends, Hall of Famers, X, Y, and Z. So like I said, that's the part of him that I'm not worried about at all.
Well, this is where it gets fun, right? So now we got Dylan Raiola. We're feeling good about him, confident in him. Then you listen to Satterfield on Harvard. He said, and this isn't verbatim paraphrasing here, but the gist of it, that he's going to have Harburg out there, sometimes with Dylan Raiola, sometimes not without Dylan Raiola, but he's going to be out there on offense a lot. And the verbatim part is he did say a lot. So what does that kind of mean? Like, how do you picture that? Harburg and Dylan?
Taysom Hill. That's what it's gonna be. You can hand the ball off on him on jet sweeps, and he's shown you to run, 50 yards down the field and not get touched. He's a tight end converted to quarterback. He'll know where everybody is supposed to be at. He's a utility knife. He's, short yardage. What you can use him as a fullback to blow things up, QB draw and everything like that. So, that's not, he can be a personal protector as Raiola rolls out to throw something back deep. Like they're different assets, but he's going to play some part of probably some type of packages of running back, quarterback, tight end for that. Why not? He's not expecting him to throw. I guarantee you he's not going to want him to really throw the ball. You can best believe that.
Well, I think you can scheme up. Now it's going to be set up, but I think that's kind of the beauty of it is if you put Harburg in there, that's what everybody's thinking. It's going to be run. Now, you probably are running the ball most of the time, but I think a few times you scheme that up. I think
you'll have certain plays like, oh yeah, you can throw this on there, but I guarantee you, he's not going to be in there for that.
No, I think it. I bet you there's maybe one or two times.
Okay, so you saying this hypothetically? What if Danny Redshirts? He's going to be number 2 quarterback, and all them packages and everything that what you're talking about and what you're thinking about goes out the window because if something, hopefully not, goes down or whatever, he is, your backup. That's just what it is. So that changes the aspect of it. These are some of the things that I don't think a lot of people think about or kind of insight to stuff. So it's like, yeah, he can say, oh, he's going to be involved, meaning if something goes down, he's number 2.
I think he's involved in the playbook. He said with Dylan Raiola out there on the field as well. So there's going to be, so it's just how much you got the number one quarterback in the nation, and you telling me you want your backup replacement tight end to be throwing the ball over the number 1 guy in the nation, regardless about whatever, if they're on the field at the same time. If they're on the field at the same time, I'm not. If we're gonna throw it, we're gonna throw it with Raiola. And if we not, I'm not. That's come on now, let's use common sense. Come on now, that's you got the number 1 guy in the nation, and you telling me him and the guy that he beat out, who took his job, they're on the field at the same time, and you want the guy that lost to throw the ball over the number 1 guy? No.
All right, then.
It's a package. I'd imagine.
That's what he's going to do. That's it.
The only way I see that working is if Dylan Raiola makes a pass over to the other side of the field behind the line of scrimmage to Harburg. And now we're just getting cute with it. Talking about
like I said, there are certain trick plays and everything like that, but
that's what I mean.
He's not throwing the ball.
I think what I'm saying, this is going to be the Harburg show, but he is going to have an interesting mix. And I think it's just going to be, how can we trick the defense and get them thinking a little bit too hard in specific situations that we have?
They not finna think too hard with him. He's running the ball. He was a last year. Not to say that he can't, but you got literally the best guy in high school on the roster. You telling me we want to hand it off to the guy he beat out to do something that he does very well? No. All right, thank you.
I don't even know what you're on right now.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I feel like you're thinking that I'm saying, hey, let's have the Harburg offense.
No, I'm not saying that at all. Will he have a few options to throw certain stuff? But if him and Raiola is on the field at the
throwing the ball, yeah.
Period. He's not going to throw. I'm not expecting him to throw the ball. That's what I'm saying.
We got to wrap it up. I totally agree with you. Our voice is raised, but I think we're still in agreement by the end of it. Nonetheless, football's around the corner. You can tell. The excitement's in the air. The conversation's only going to get louder from here, especially after that Colorado game, week 2. So we got UTEP up first, though. We'll keep talking Husker football as we get closer to it. Don't go anywhere. We'll keep it rolling here on Take a Weeknight. Shout out to Marty Pierson-El. On time as always. Do it again tomorrow.